Are you dreaming of living in one of the pristine golf course communities around Austin, Texas? Cool. Today, we're going to Lakeway and we're going to talk everything about the hills and the Flint Rock Falls community. They're sister communities. We're going to talk about the good things about that, the bad things about that, and see if it's the right one for you. So stick around. We're going to get started right now. Hi, I'm Nicole Cooper. Hi, I'm Nicole Cooper, your Austin area specialist for golf communities. And if you want to know everything first, hit the bell, subscribe below. We'll love you forever. So Lakeway, Texas is located just west of Austin, about 20 miles. Its population is about 20,000, and it started kind of as a laid-back lake community, but it has grown and now it has everything you need. You don't even have to come into Austin to get your shopping, food, groceries, and all the things. And let's talk about the entertainment out there as far as outdoor things go. You've got Lake Travis, you've got golf courses galore, and you have good schools. So let's do some pros and cons for the Hills of Lakeway golf community. And right now we're going to include that as Flint Rock Falls and the Hills. And I'll give you all the details of kind of the membership packages for the country club should you want to go that route in a little while. But right now we're going to start with the first pro of living in the Hills of Lakeway. And that is, it is pretty, y'all. It's got running water through there. It's got little creeks. It has rolling hill country terrain, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. You've got hiking trails throughout. You have the ability to get your boat on the water within minutes. I mean, who doesn't want to get out on the water within minutes when you also can get to the golf tee box within minutes? Speaking of that golf tee box, let's talk about the pro number 2. All of the golf courses in the area. We're focusing on the Hills of Lakeway right now, and so that includes Flint Rock Falls and perhaps Live Oak and Yaupon. So on the golf course membership, the country club membership, there are a few different levels. And if you join at the top level, you get 4 golf courses, and the initiation fee is $95,000. And if you compare that to Barton Creek, where you get 4 golf courses, that initiation is $175,000. So if you want a little bit better bang for your buck, you go a little bit farther out to Lakeway and get in for $95,000, and you get 4 golf courses, plus the tennis, racket sports, wellness, spa, swimming pools, and all that stuff. Let me show you all the golf courses in the map. All right, so these red dots here on the map are all of the Lakeway, the Hills of Lakeway membership if you're a member at the top tier and you get all 4. So we're gonna start at the Hills Country Club, their signature course, their my kind of favorite one, don't tell anyone, but it's a beautiful 18-hole golf course that was built in 1981. So it's been around for a long time. They've gone through some remodels over time, but this is the view out the back if you were up sitting at the dining area out on the patio. This is hole number 14. That's a par 3 coming into the clubhouse there, and it's really cool to sit out there and watch people hit in. And this is the back of the dining room. You can see that open air dining there. And just over here to the right, that's the pro shop. Here's a beautiful view of the first hole. We've got the front tee boxes there. The back tee boxes are back behind the creek. And then you have these cool bridges that go over the creek a few times as you play the golf course. And this first hole here is a par 5 that kind of sweeps around the corner to the right there. And here is hole 7, the signature hole. It's a par 3. You have to carry it over this beautiful waterfall. The green kind of falls away from you towards the back. That bunker in the back is a very hot spot for people that get scared and pull it out left. But this is their signature hole. It's absolutely gorgeous, and probably going to have about a mid-iron to a long iron in your hand, depending on the wind that day. And from the Hills Country Club, the second course, the sister course, is at Flint Rock Falls. And these two communities are actually both gated, and they're connected together. I like to refer to them as sister communities because the fence from one is actually the same between both. So if you have a key fob, you can go in between the two communities without going into the outside roadways. So the Hills is gated, Flint Rock Falls is gated, but their middle fence is shared, and you can go in between with a key fob. So here is a view out the back from their dining patio overlooking the golf course. And here's a view of a tee box par 4 here. In general, Flint Rock is a little bit flatter than the hills, but they're very similar because they're so close together. So you're going to have that beautiful rolling hill country terrain throughout. Now, the two other courses that you get access to if you have the full membership are Live Oak and Yaupon. They're outside the gates, but they are very nearby. We'll start over here with the Yaupon golf course. If we were to compare the Yaupon and the Live Oak course together, the Live Oak course would have a few more open tee shots, a little bit easier to hit the fairway, and a tiny bit shorter. Yaupon, you've got to be a little bit more strategic, a little bit straighter off the tee, probably a little bit tougher in my opinion. It's very much more hilly than Live Oak, and even still, they're very close together, but Yaupon would have these hilly views, as you can see here on this hole. Beautiful image here at sunset. You can see it's got lots of water and it has lots of trees. On both Live Oak and Yaupon, you have to hit it straight or you're going to be in the trees pretty often. Here's a good view of some of the rolling terrain on Yaupon. You've got your tee box here, and then you've got to hit it out, and it's going to roll around to the right to go back around to the green. And one more angle of the golf course back in the distance behind the driving range here. Now we go from Yaupon here over here to Live Oak. I mean, Live Oak definitely has some hills too, but it's not as elevated as Yaupon. Here's a tee box here, hitting down there into the fairway, little par 4. And this is kind of from the side view of one of their beautiful par 3s. You have to hit it over the creek there, and they do have a whole lot of bunkers they're really proud of at the Live Oak. And all throughout Lakeway, you're going to get images of these deer. They're all over the place, and if you have plants and flowers planted in your yard, be careful because they want to eat them. So to go back over the levels of the country club membership again, if you want everything, the signature level, all the golf and all the extra amenities, it's $95,000 initiation fee. You could also join at just 3 of the golf courses with the other amenities, so that would exclude the hills, and it would include Flint Rock Falls, Live Oak, and Yaupon, and that's at a reduced rate of $45,000 initiation. Or you could join just the 2 golf courses of Live Oak and Yaupon, and that's a $15,000 initiation. And of course, they have racket sports specific, or just wellness, or just social. So they have it fixed to where there's absolutely a level for everyone depending on what activities you want to partake in. But just know they have a lot of activities planned for the membership all throughout the year, whether it's singles golf tournament, tennis tournament, whether it's a kids play day, whether it's kids learning in the summer, the sports, golf, tennis, pickle, what have you. They have wine and dine. They have a wonderful Friday night kind of event that they do, and they have live music and or just music out at the Hills Country Club between holes 6 and 7, if you will. It's all outside. They have a bar outside, live music most of the time, and it's where everybody goes, I'm told, on Friday night every single week, that there's good weather anyway. All right, the third pro, excellent school system. It all feeds into the Lake Travis ISD. I'll show you the score. So first off, it feeds into Lakeway Elementary. They get a 93 out of 100. Their enrollment's 542 students. Here's your diversity graph in the middle. Puts it about 14.5 students per teacher. Middle school isn't as great. Hudson Bend Middle School, they get 84 out of 100. Total student enrollment of 934. And that puts it just under 15 students per teacher. Lake Travis High School, they get an 89 out of 100. It's a large high school, great sports programs and music and arts and things because of their size. 3,645 enrollment. Here's your diversity graph. Puts it at about 18.5 students per teacher. The fourth pro about living in the hills is your proximity to the lake. I mentioned this a little bit already, but there are a few marinas anyway that you can store your boat at, or you can be a member of a boat club where you don't even have to have a boat, but you're not far away to any entrance into the lake. There's the Lakeway Park, which is just here, and it's a huge area where you can see, you have flat land here. You can just take your dogs or go out for some exercise, get in and go swimming. There are playground areas for the kids. There's pickleball courts. There's basketball courts. Like anything, think park-wise, you've got it out there. The only thing you have to watch out for, yes, you can fish, you do need to be careful of the lake levels. So this right here would be when the lake is full. Right now, we're only at about 45%, so sometimes it can look like this. Lake Travis is not a constant level lake. It fluctuates with the rainfall that we get, so just take note of that. There's always going to be water in this big area. You just have to walk further out to get to it. So just keep in mind that the lake levels do fluctuate, and the more rain we have, the higher the water comes up. In addition to Lakeway City Park, we have Lakeway Marina. That's where a lot of the boats are kept. And so you can see here, all of our marinas are floating on Lake Travis. You can see these cables coming up and down here, and they go in and out as the lake water fluctuates and goes up and down. Here's a better view of how the marinas have to float. And lastly, if you want a little staycation out on the lake, the Lakeway, Austin Lakeway Resort is really cool. They've upgraded over the years, and look at these 3-tiered swimming pools they have now. It's really fun. You can just go in for a day pass, or you can get a room there. They have a lot of weddings and banquets and things, and this is why, because from their dining room you have this gorgeous view overlooking Lake Travis. Here's another view of the swimming pool, and then that's what the lake looks like as you look down. You can see here though, this bank right here, that's because we haven't had much rain. Generally, the lake, when it's full, will be up to the tree line. So anytime you see those rocks sticking out, we're at a low level, and you can see how everybody's boat dock has to be let out as the lake levels go down. So Lake Travis is 65 miles long, and in the middle it is super deep, so you're always going to have water in the center of the river or the lake, whatever you want to call it. The fifth and final pro of living in the hills is that it's super safe because it's in a secured area. It's got a 24/7 manned security gate for both sides, the hills side and the Flint Rock Falls side. And while we're talking about the actual inside of the gate, I'm going to give you a few examples of the types of homes you can find inside each community. Okay, so this home here is on the hills side of the community, and generally speaking, things are going to be a little bit older on the hills side because the golf course was built in 1981, and on the Flint Rock Falls side, the golf course was built in 2001. Check that. On the Flint Rock Falls side, it was built in 2002. So you're going to have more modern homes on the Flint Rock Falls side than you will on the hills side. So this one here is on the hillside, built in 1999. There are a lot of ranch style homes in there, meaning single story homes with that left to right construction. You do have a lot of the red clay tile roofs, but this is an example of a home 2,311 square feet, listed for $834,900. It has been meticulously upgraded on the inside, as you can see here, with these beautiful countertops and wood carpentry in the background. We've got the vent hood that matches the refrigerator, and on and on. They really did a great job about remodeling this one. Another example in the hills, we've got a 2-story here, stucco. It's got the red clay tile roof, a little bit bigger, 2,934 square feet, listed for $850,000. And this one was built in 2006. This one has been updated over time as well. Just a different style, more white, less size in the kitchen here. It's a little bit smaller. That's why you're going to get, or it's a similar price point, even though this one's bigger. The other one was just fixed up just a little bit more on today's trend, and this one was remodeled a while ago. But most of the homes in the hills are at some level of remodel because there haven't been any new homes built in quite some time. Okay, here's our new construction in Flint Rock Falls. A bit bigger on the Flint Rock Falls side in general than on the hills side because it's just more modern. 3,530 square feet, listed for $1,497,000. Construction started in 2022, and we can see here that this is hasn't been lived in yet. It's for sale, and it could be yours for $1.5 million. They have all the clean lines on the inside with the the black trim everywhere. Open design from the living to the kitchen, which is on trend for today, and this big white kitchen with black accents. The other style of home in the Flint Rock Falls side, it was built in 2004. It's got more of that Tuscan design to it. similar price point, $1,545,000, 3,404 square feet. This design here, you can see being a couple of decades older, the rooms are more split off from each other. They've got the arches in all of the walkways and doorways, as that Italian Tuscan design is known for, beams in the ceiling, and just a little bit different colors in the kitchen because that was the style back when this one was built. But just to review, you can see the styles in the Flint Rock Falls side. Both sides have the Tuscan feel. Sometimes we have this Tuscan, and then we have this modern design with the metal roof and all the clean lines. Then we hop over to the Hills side, the Tuscan look a little bit here, and then the ranch style look you're gonna find throughout the Hills side. Before we move on to the cons, you know, the things that aren't so great about living in the Hills, I just wanna show you a few of the restaurants in the area. Santa Catarina Mexican, we've got the League Kitchen and Tavern, the Grove Wine Bar. Those are three of my favorite spots out there, and they're awesome to go, and they're easy to get to from the Hills. So let's talk about those cons. What's not so great about living in the Hills? Well, sometimes traffic can be pretty brutal. So here we are, the Hills is right here, right in the middle of this. Once you get out to this highway here, this 620, it's really the only thing that gets you around in Lakeway. So whether you're coming through Lakeway from over Austin side, from the 2220 side, if you're coming from the 71 side, this is the main thoroughfare that connects it all. And there aren't stoplights throughout. There are plenty of stoplights, which also makes it slower at traffic time. But where there aren't stoplights, it's almost like taking your life into your own hands, trying to cross the road and get out on the highway. So it's not great at traffic time. So just keep that in mind, and make sure that wherever you're coming off and entering to and from, that you do have a stoplight to make sure you're safer than just pulling out there in front of a truck going 70 miles an hour down the road. The second con, I've already mentioned it when we were talking about the lake in the pros side, and that's just the lake level fluctuations. Nothing you can do about it. It's just going to move as the weather patterns change. The more rain we get, the more water we have in the lake. The less rain we get, the more drought we have, the lower the water goes. So if you are considering buying on the water, you need to make sure you know what happens to your water line, how far it comes to and from your house as these lake levels fluctuate. The third con, it's not cheap. It's, we looked at some average houses. They've been fixed up even, and they're in the 800,000. So you're going to, if you want something over 2,500 square feet or going up to 3,000 square feet even for a nice size home, you're probably going to be more towards $1 million and above. So the cost of living can be a little bit high on the real estate side. The fourth con, even though there are many great restaurants in the area, there's little to no nightlife. So if you're one of those people that wants to go to the club at night or see a lot of dance parties and things like that, you're going to have to head on into Austin. As well as some live music venues. There are a couple of little spots here and there. I mean, you can even go further out to Pootie's. They've got some live music. And then there's some live music venues as you come closer into town, not all the way to Austin, but generally speaking, if you're going to be staying out past 10 o'clock at night, that means you're probably going to have to make a hike into town to get some true action. And there's no public transportation. So there's no train that'll get you into town. There's no bus that'll get you into town. You either have to drive or take a rideshare service. And if you're taking a rideshare service from the Hills into downtown Austin, that's going to cost you a pretty penny. Depending on traffic, I would say you're between $30 and $50 one way. So that's a wrap. The Hills and Flint Rock Falls sister communities, great golf, proximity to the lake, great schools, hill country, beautiful scenic area part of town, and you're not too far from Austin if you need to get into town. What do you think about these communities? Comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I answer them all myself. And hey, if you want to see a home in person and get to really know the community intimately, I'm here. My team and I are always available to help. Why? Because we want to make sure you pick the perfect home that matches your lifestyle. Until next time, be kind to yourself and others. I can't wait to see you around town.